Good morning. Welcome to Clifford Corner, where we encourage, we empower, we equip, we educate, and we entertaining you. First, I want to send a shout out to Aunt Diane and all the way in Corpus Christi, Texas. Good morning. The show is sponsored by Golden D Hairline, wigs, weaves, eyelashes, bonnets, hair bands, edge control, and so much more. Visit their website at goldendhairline.com. Yep. So I hope that you all have been enjoying the show. First, a couple of house cleaning matters. So we are going to be doing a $25 gift card giveaway during the show every month. We haven't done it this month. That's a clue. So in order for you to be eligible to receive the $25 e-gift card, you must like the Clifford's Corner Facebook page. You also have to follow us on Instagram, and then you have to subscribe to the Clifford's Corner YouTube channel. Once again, to be eligible to receive, win, qualify, whatever, to qualify, that is, for the e-gift card, you have to like the Facebook page. You have to like the Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something that is I guess I don't want to use the word controversial, but it has some different meanings to different people. So today's show, we're going to be talking about relationships and relationships. And there are so many ways or so many different ways to come at this particular topic. However, we're going to be specifically talking about, if you look at my my card on the bottom right there, today we will be talking about different types of relationship, that being family, friends, personal, and work. Family, friends, personal, and work relationships. First of all, just a simple definition of the word relationships is the way two or more objects or concepts of people connect. That's a relationship. How they connect, whether that be verbal, nonverbal, email, text message, and how they behave toward one another. Now, first of all, let me say this. A relationship is not predicated on how somebody treats you. However, I'm not going to be in any type of relationship, whether that be friends, family, personal, or work, with somebody that does not treat me right. The best thing for me to do is stay away from you, because if not, my wife is going to be bringing some money, putting it on my commissary, because something bad going to happen. I'm not looking for anybody, and nobody's looking for me, and that's the way we want to keep it. Good morning, my mother-in-law. Good morning. Good morning, Deja. Hey, okay, glad you guys are listening. So in order for us to determine more about the specifics of relationships, we have to understand the concept, the way two or more, and it could be a group of people, behave, talk, act toward one another. That makes sense? The way they act toward one another. Now, a lot of times we base our relationship on how you treat me. How you treat me. I'm going to treat you good if you treat me good. I will agree with that. Although this is not a religious show, that's not what the Bible says. Sometimes we wait to see how somebody's going to treat us first, and sometimes that's a way to guard yourself from people that have bad behavior, because everybody that smiles at you, or grins in your face, however you want to word it, they don't mean you any good. And sometimes we find out on the latter end of a relationship that the person that we were kicking it with, really weren't, they really weren't our friends. They really weren't. Stedman, good morning. They really were not our friends. We find out the hard way after we've invested money, after we've invested time. And I hate that invested money and find out. And that, wait a minute. One thing that ruins relationship, this is free and not even on my notes. Check this out. One thing that ruins relationships is loaning money to folks. Now, here's the part that you're not going to like. Tracy Fillmore, you're right. Everybody is not your friend. You sure right about that. And I'm not taking that personal, Tracy. Good morning. but check this out. You knew when you loaned them that $2, they weren't gonna pay you back. So don't be charging somebody up behind $2 because they didn't pay you back. Don't loan out money. Money ruins relationships and families. It basically tears them apart. So let's kind of glance over at the relationships, what we plan on doing, how we plan on doing that. Look at that. Awesome graphics, right? You can thank me for that. I learned all of that real quick. Relationships, family, the first thing. Our society thrives on strong family relationships. Strong. Now, let me stop right there. Family relationships from when I was a child has changed considerably. Family relationships now have changed to the fact where there are families that are estranged from each other and not even speaking to each other. That is unheard of. My sister lives here in Houston, and she's going to get 2 calls from me at least, excuse me, every day, one in the morning and one in the evening. But it is unreal that I've heard of families that live in the same town and they haven't seen each other or talked to each other, in months. That's crazy. But it says something about your relationship. And the unfortunate part about that is even in families, the relationships are, they're not what they should be. You have daughters that don't like the mom and daughters that don't like that. The son doesn't, they don't get along with the parents. And that all starts from a relationship in the beginning. I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. This is free. Relationships without rules, it breeds rebellion. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, whether it's family, friends, workplace, personal, and you don't have rules to that relationship, pretty soon it's going to be an issue. So again, our society thrives on strong family relationships. Strong families and stronger families, they have great communication. They actively listen to this. They actively listen to each other. Part of having a awesome relationship is you have to listen to each other. And there's one thing about listening. Listening means, write this down if you're taking notes. Write this down. Listening means your mouth is closed and your ears are open. Shake your head, yes. Oh. Listening means your mouth is closed and your ears are open. Most of the time, we listen to respond. We don't listen for the content. We listen so we can know how to respond. Whether that be, I'm gonna say something smart. I'm gonna cuss you out. We listen to see how this is gonna go down. We don't even think about it. And a lot of times that says something about the relationships when we are in a relationship and the relationship turns sour. Right before it turns sour, we start having verbal altercations which suggest that we didn't listen to each other. So families have to listen to each other, there needs to be a time where you all sit down and talk about problems that are going on within the family. If there are problems going on within the family, we don't need to discover that there's a problem further down the road. Problems that initiate in the family, that start in the family, often can be addressed if one person talks and the other person listens. Does not mean there's not. Alvin Word says this. There's a difference between hearing someone and listening to someone. There's a big difference. Thank you, sir. There's a big difference for that. People don't. Sylvia Simmons, wait a minute. This is not part of my show. I've seen all that stuff you cooking on Facebook. So I'm gonna put my order in. I'm going live on you right now. I need some oxtails and some rice. You're welcome. and I'll come pick it up. save you the gas. Yeah. So with families, a lot of times families are not as strong as they appear to be. There are times when you see there are times when you see families that you think they got it together, and you only find out that they were estranged from each other. And wait a minute, and let me say this: a common misconception of people, church folk. I'm not throwing shade. Stop saying a family that prays together stays together. That is the biggest lie ever told. That really, I can think of at least 4 families that I know that was praying and they didn't stay together. Well, one, they might have been separated by death, so they didn't stay together. And the prayer is not, it is designed to promote them staying together, but everybody in that family is not praying, and they're not praying the same thing. You know, some of them are foolish enough to be praying to the Lord. Lord, let them see what I see. Really? I hope not. So they actively listen to each other. So families, is a good idea for you to sit down and have, what I call a come to Jesus meeting, where we sit down and discuss any issues, any problems, how you feeling, is there anything that we can help you with, particularly if you have children, whether they're grown, whether they moved out, whether you have small children in your house, teenagers, especially if you have teenagers, excuse me, you need to have some type of relationship with them to where they trust you enough to come and tell you about their problems that they're having, whatever those may be. You need to be able to talk to them about those. They shouldn't be walking in your house, slamming the door and going in their room. And when you ask them to talk about it, they spout off and say they don't have anything to say. Really? No, you got something. Well, I have something to say. And if you have to make the child sit there and explain what's going on, because again, it can snowball into a larger problem. So we always want to encourage strong family relationships. A stronger family actually helps build a stronger community. Now, what about a relationship with friends? Excuse me. A strong relationship with friends creates a lasting, trusting relationship, and it's not gender-based. It's healthy to have friends outside of your family relationship. It's healthy to have, friends that you can kick it with. There might be friends that I go to a particular place on Sundays, and I have, people that I see there all the time. I would consider them my friends, but we're not friendly, and we're not at the friendly stage where I share my personal life with you. We're not that. We ain't cool like that. And I don't foresee it becoming that, because there has to be boundaries in relationships from the beginning. Family, friends, personal, work. There has to be boundaries in that relationship. Boundaries mean this is what I can say, this is what I can't say, this is what I can do, this is what this is what I don't want to do. With friends, you have to draw the line, because some folk get too friendly. They become too friendly, and that can propose a problem, because some people that are your friends, you find out that they're not really your friends. They're watching you and basically friendly enough to gossip about you behind your back. Everybody has, well, I don't, because I don't really have that many friends. And anybody that knows me, y'all say that I'm not friendly, but y'all lying. That's not true. For everybody that knows me, I had a twin, and they used to say that I was the mean one. And I don't know why they were saying that, because that sure wasn't true. So anyway, and we're back. So you have friends that stab you in the back and then smile in your face. That's unfortunate, because you trusted that person. With friends and family, there is a level of trust. I have to trust that person. I have to trust them to be, to be able to be a part of my life. I have to trust them to create a relationship. And me, I'm also I'm real skittish about friends. I'm real skittish about making friends. I'm suspicious of everybody. And that has saved me in my years of living. That has saved me from being hurt, because I'm real. It takes me a while. I'm observing that person. If I'm thinking about, they cool. I'm observing them. I'm watching them. I'm listening to other people about what they say about them. And then, now wait a minute, I'm listening, but I also make the determination on my own how I'm going to address the relationship. I don't let somebody tell me, oh, that person is sorry. And then, all I'm hearing is that person is sorry. And only to find out that that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. They're not sorry at all. They were really, really a nice person. And then you ruin what a potential relationship because you listened to somebody that, that was basically just lying. So we talked about a relationship with family. We talked about a relationship with friends. Friends, there needs to be some level of boundaries expressed or implied to maintain the friendly relationship. There needs to be boundaries. There needs to be, okay, I have friends. I have friends that are females, and there's about, there are boundaries set by me because, it's a relationship. We already said it was a two-way street. So I'm setting the boundaries to the relationship. The relationship is, particularly with females, is I'm married. End of discussion. Case closed. That's it. So the relationship stays at that level. Now, I've seen relationships that started out with friends and it became, I would say, borderline inappropriate. And that's unfortunate because had those boundaries been, established, that's why I don't see how these dudes be having these side pieces. That's too much work. I mean, you got to remember what you said, who you said it to, and all this stuff. Me, I'm not smart enough to do all of that. I mean, I'm sorry, and it's wrong. Most importantly, but to establish those relationships, as I said before, there has to be boundaries. Alvin Word says, I call them acquaintance. True friends care about your health and your welfare. That is true. That is true. That is true. Thank you, Sylvia Simmons. And true, Sylvia, are you saying true to you making me some oxtails and some rice? That must be what you responded to. Okay. I'm gonna leave you alone, Sylvia. We know we cool. Okay. So we talked about personal relationship. Personal. This means, listen to this. This means an ongoing, romantic, or intimate, and not always physical interaction. This can also mean a bond that is built between more than one person or group of people over a period of time. So a personal relationship, it happens over a period of time. For me, you don't just meet somebody in person and say, "Oh man, we getting ready to kick it. We cool." No, it's gonna take some time for me to see, do I want a personal relationship with you as personal, and then again, how personal is it? Is it personal enough where, let's take my female friends that I have. There are some that can call me, text me whenever they want to. And there's some that I'll be saying, wait a minute, why are they calling me? Why are they texting me? Because we're not at that level. Not that I wouldn't answer my phone because it could be emergency, but I would be suspicious of their behavior. I would be real suspicious of why they're doing it. Again, personal relationships is a strong. I would put them right under family, a personal relationship, because we need to have personal relationships because sometimes we can't rely on families. Everybody has some family member that and maybe family members, plural, that you cannot rely on. Yeah, you can't. They're about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. They cannot be relied on at all. And you need to have a personal friend that you can rely on. The observance of the members of that group cause a personal relationship. They cause or can create a personal relationship. They watch each other to see if it's kind of like a click. Are we clicking? Are we clicking? I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of clicks, kind of, because sometimes the word click means they messy. And wait a minute. This is free. This is free as well. Messy folk hang around messy folk. Shake your head. Yes. I don't care. I don't care what you. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me give you two things to back that up. The world says the apple don't fall too far from the tree. The Bible says you know the tree by the fruit that it bears. Those messy folks hang around messy folks. Why? Because they miserable. So they want everybody else to be miserable. One thing about Clifford English, I do not, never have. I don't hang around nor associate knowingly. I might not know you well enough with messy folk, because there's always drama. There's always, there's always issues, and misery loves company. People that are miserable, they want you to be miserable. People whose lives are miserable, they want you to be miserable. You actually know more about this personal relationship. You actually know more, or are you more about that person in a personal relationship than you normally would someone that is not as personal. Let me say it this way: someone that I'm entering into a personal relationship is kind of like a ranking chart. Okay, so 10 is we're very personal. 1 is we're not as personal. Does that make sense? So you have to gauge, where does that person fit in your in that relationship? Where do they fit? Where do they fit in the relationship? Do they hey, what's up, Michonne Thomas? How you doing, man? Do they fit in the relationship? Do they often wait a minute. And in those relationships, family, friends, personal, and we're going to get to work, what are they bringing to the relationship? What are you bringing to the relationship? It's not always about finances. A lot of times when people are getting married and they're starting their own relationship, they have like a, well, let me say it this way. So let me give you an analogy. If I wasn't married, and I was trying to establish a relationship, I would create me a spreadsheet with several different categories, and then I would rank them from 1 to 5. 5 being the best, 1 means you don't have a chance. Because there's a certain person that I'm looking for in the relationship. 1, do you love God? That's going to be above all. You know how when you take your gal home to meet your parents for the first time, they used to do this. The mom or the daddy would say, what church they wouldn't that'd be the first question they asked. And my mother knew, church. So, she would honestly ask that, what church they belong to. That would be the first thing. Do you love God? That's a strong, you got to have a relationship with God, because the Bible talks about being unequally yoked. Yep, it does say that. And a lot of times relationships are ruined because people are unequally yoked. My nephew, good morning, sir. People are unequally yoked. That does not mean that one makes more money than the other. Unequally yoked means biblically they don't believe the same thing. Now, unequally yoked could also mean, and we can't evaluate, people based on, what their income is, whether that makes them good or bad. We have to stop doing that. But me personally, to get into a relationship, I'm creating a spreadsheet, and it's going to have a number of categories on there. And I'm going to go through in time as I observe you. I'm going to be, logging it into my phone. When we have dinner, I'm gonna be logging it in, while we talk, I'm gonna have my phone down in my lap, logging in your information so I can check the spreadsheet, because I don't have time. People don't have time. Building relationships, it takes time. Building strong relationships, it takes time. It's not, I would be frightened over somebody that I meet today, and next thing you know, hey man, you calling me, or no, we're not cool. We haven't got to that level yet. You have to build a trust. I have to know more about you. People get in relationships with people that they don't know, only to find out that they robbed a bank, or they did something horrible. Their wife beat her, they're abusing or whatever. They use drugs or whatever. So it's about the time, the trust element in the relationship. So lastly, what about workplace relationships? A lot of marriages, friendships have been ruined over workplace relationships. Wow. First, in a workplace, there must be mutual respect. Now, I'm not talking about my job. I'm talking about in general. A lot of times what I've discovered in the workplace is people don't respect you in the workplace because they might be higher up on the food chain. Their pay grade might be higher and they don't respect you. Well, let me give you some Charles Marshall. Good morning, sir. Charles Marshall said he needs that spreadsheet. I'm gonna create it, Charles. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna put it on eBay. Yeah, but you getting yours for free. I guarantee it. If you're disrespectful to me in the workplace, I'm gonna do my best to use the chain of command to eliminate that problem. Talking about workplace relationships. Now, if I see for any reason that the chain of command is not working, then we're gonna handle it. We're gonna handle it the Clifford English way. I'm gonna use my words from my nephew. There's a high probability you're gonna be looking for your teeth. And I would hate to text my wife and say, well, I'm on my way home. I had to knock this dude out because he didn't respect me. He didn't respect the relationship. And everybody that has a job has had one person on your job that you wanted to swing on them. Comment. Let me see. Watch these comments blow up. Comment if you had one person on your job that you wanted to swing on. Maybe you had more than one. You were just that lucky. You know how it is. You just have that one person that they get under your skin. Wait a minute. And I believe that's just a test. Can you pass it? So there has to be mutual respect. And wait, let me pull over real quick here. Real quick. Again, the show sponsor for today is Golden D Hairline. Golden D Hairline has wigs, weaves, eyelashes, bonnets, hair bands, edge control, and so much more. Visit their website at goldendhairline.com. Thank you. Got you in there, Deja. There we go. We're talking about the workplace relationships. Oftentimes, look, the comments blew up. Let me see. Check this out. There we go. Stedman all the time. What's up, T? His ears about to burst. My nephew, all of them wear red hats. I will concur. For those of y'all that didn't go to Victoria High, that means I will agree. Yes. Mashawn, yes. What's up, Nanny? Yes. But we have to get around those people in the workplace that are there because I have a family to feed, and a lot of people hide behind the logo of the company that I work for, knowing because what they really want is they really want to see that side of me that they say that someone that looks like me is like, and they try to push the issue, but I can be professional and not cuss you out. I can be professional and not go upside your head. Now, I like to think I won't slap you or I won't cuss you out, but I can't promise that. I'm still a work in progress. That song says, please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. That's a church song. When do they still sing that? There must be mutual respect in the workplace of the people that you work with. You have to value, this is a two-way street talking about relationships. You have to value their input and their ideas, regardless of how long they've been at the company, for that workplace relationship to be successful. You have to value them because a lot of people, because they've been there longer, their attitude is, you can't tell me that I've been here 100 years. My question is, why are you still here? Why are you still working at 40 something years, and the company hadn't changed, haven't grown. We still, you haven't done anything. You made no significant change. Your answer to everything is, this is the way we've been doing it. But in order for the workplace relationship to work, it's a two-way street. We have to value the input and the ideas of other people. We have to. That has to be something that is expressed and implied. That goes from management level all the way down to the lowest paid employee for the workplace Aunt Diane, how are you? Good morning. She said, that's why I'm retired. I got a little bit more time, Aunt Diane, and I'll be retiring myself. Tracy Fillmore, she said, yes, they still do sing that. Thank you. Okay. So back to the workplace relationship as it relates to gender. You can have, well, let me say this. I can have, because some of y'all dudes can't have workplace. Some of y'all dudes can't have female friends in your workplace because your wife told you so. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. You correct that at home. Don't get mad at me. Get off when you log off. Go in there and correct that. I dare you. Let me know how it go. Yeah, some dudes can't have female friends in the workplace, and that's a trust issue. My wife don't have problems with me, and I know she can realize I'm gonna block her too if she come on here. My wife does not have problems with me having female friends. It took me a long time to make friends in the workplace. Because I'm kind of standoffish. I'm observing. I'm watching. And I have been told at least once, that I was walking around like I didn't want anybody to say anything to me, and I don't believe that at all. But nevertheless, you have to be able to get along with people. So in the workplace, there are people that are there that are not of the same gender. So you have to be able to coexist with those particular people. You have to be able to coexist with women. You have to be able to coexist with men and know that the relationship is just that, a work relationship. Now, I'm not saying that a work relationship is not can't be a work relationship to where when work is over, we go out and get margaritas. I'm not a drinker. We go out and say, hey, well, they got some tacos over here. We all meeting over here, and we having tacos, or we having lunch or whatever. That again is a good example of a working personal and work relationship. And it's cool as long as everybody in that relationship knows what the boundaries are. As long as they know what the boundaries are. As long as they know this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is what you can say. And you need to make sure that you keep those relationships, those boundaries in place. You don't move the boundaries. You don't move the boundaries to, let me say this. You don't move the boundaries to make the relationship work better for you to where you can step out on your wife or your husband. You don't move the boundaries. The boundaries have to be established, and they're not negotiable. Again, with me, boundaries in friends, family, personal, and work, my boundaries are not negotiable. I'm not negotiating that, particularly at work, particularly with, there's a line. There are people that I work with that are on my Facebook page. We don't communicate. There are people that I work with that, I have their cell number and, we text or whatever, but there are some that we don't have that type of relationship, and that's okay. Why? Because they know we don't have that type of relationship. They also know we ain't finna have that type of relationship for whatever reason, good, bad, blind, crippled, or crazy, whatever. We're not having that type of relationship. And I think it's better for us not to have that type of relationship. How do you relate to your peers? That's a question. How do you relate to your peers? If I was to go into your workplace and ask your peers, take a poll, and I would say, how does you put your name in that blank? How do you feel about this person? I guarantee you, they probably would say the bad stuff first. It'll be a long list of bad stuff and a short list of good stuff, depending on who you ask. So how do you relate to your peers? Is good, bad? Can you be told? With my job, all I want you to do is tell me what it is, if it needs to be corrected, and let's move on. Don't browbeat me, because we're gonna have a problem. That's not. I'm not a child, and that's been established. Period. that's just how I roll. We want to know how do your peers evaluate you? What do your peers say about you, good or bad? What do they say, good or bad? We ask that again. Is it good? Is it? And you should be afraid if you went to your peers and everything that they said about you was good. I would be afraid of somebody like that, because that means one or two things. you probably in a position to promote them. So, everything is good. And then wait a minute. And then there's this, sometimes you have peers in the workplace talking about a workplace relationship that you all related very well until you got promoted. And then once you got promoted, then all of a sudden y'all not cool anymore because you got promoted. Let's say you all applied for the same job and you were even more qualified than they were. And you got promoted. Do you think that relationship is going to last? Do you think it's going to be a good workplace relationship? What do you think is going to happen? They're probably not going to, they're probably going to be cool with you, but they're not going to be as cool, especially if they have to start working for you or in your umbrella. You have to start giving them work to do or giving them orders. Is that the right word? If that is the right word, they're not going to like that, So, and the main thing lastly about workplace relationships is they need to remain professional at all times. They need to remain professional at all times. When we go to work, when I see you at work, the workplace relationship is professional. That means I'm gonna speak to you. How you doing? If I choose to, because sometimes I don't. I'm gonna speak to you going about my business. There's not gonna be any anything said or anything implied that's inappropriate. The relationship will be professional, and the comments, the dialogue needs to remain professional as well. So that's it for me talking about relationships, family, friends, personal, and work. You can check this video out on YouTube. You can replay it again on Facebook, of course. Let me go back to talking to you about how you can qualify. Excuse me, how you can qualify for the $25 gift card. Once again, we have not had the gift card drawing yet. So that means it'll be coming up soon. So tell all your friends that they want free $25. It's a couple more Saturdays in the month. So it's narrowing it. Try saying that 1,000 times. It's narrowing it down to when we're going to have it. So to be eligible to win, you have to like the Clifford's Corner Facebook page. You have to follow us on Instagram, and you also have to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the Clifford's Corner Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, that's Clifford's Corner, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once again, the show is brought to you by Golden D Hairline, wigs, weaves, eyelashes, bonnets, hair bands, edge control, and some of y'all need that more than others, and so much more. Visit their website at goldendhairline.com. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you all for tuning in to the show. Tell a friend about the show, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you.